Hi everyone, welcome to Book Talks with Miss Thomas, and this is Truffles. Doesn't she look comfortable? Maybe a little too comfy over there. I am finally going to do Katie's Readathon video, the Christian Readathon, which I am thrilled to be doing. And Katie has a fantastic channel called Paperbacks and Ponytails. I will link it below. Please go check out her channel, and I will mention a few other booktubers as well. So if you are interested in Katie's Paperbacks and Ponytails Christian Readathon, I'll put the prompts down there below in her buddy read, and I'll tell you my picks. Stay tuned. All right, so welcome to Book Talks with Miss Thomas. I'm Miss Thomas. If you're new here, please subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back. And this is my friend Truffles, by the way. She is sometimes featured in some shorts. All right, so Katie is doing this really cool Christian Readathon, and I am thrilled, and I love Katie. I love her channel. She is just so kind and so fun, and one of the first Christian booktubers to welcome me. So anyway, I want to talk about the books that I am doing for Katie's Christian Readathon, and her prompts are: number one, flowers on the cover. And I just finished this book and I loved it. I saw it on Amanda's channel, which I will link below. I love Amanda. Amanda has become one of my favorite booktubers. She's just so bubbly and fun, and she's just got so much energy and joy. It's really hard to stay in a bad mood when you watch Amanda's channel. And I don't think she had read this book. She was planning to read it and talking about it, and she said, "Oh, this sounds really good. I'm gonna have to read this." And I thought, me too, Amanda. And that is called The Cul-de-Sac War. And I finished this book about 10 minutes ago, and it was great. It was really funny. I laughed out loud in some passages. I'm not really a big romance reader. This one is, it does say what? Sometimes love and hate share a backyard. So it is a love story. I don't think that's a spoiler alert because you see the heart here. I knew going into it that eventually these two would probably fall in love, but they fight. Oh my goodness, the fights they have are just really pretty funny. So, it's about this girl. She just wants to live in her grandmother's house. Her grandmother's passed away, and she struggles with memories because she found her grandmother when she passed. And she wants this house because she was very close to her grandmother. And her life is just going exactly the way she wants. She's finally got the house when Chip McBride moves in next door. And they just boom from the very beginning, and they don't stop. And they're hilarious, both of them. So petty, immature, silly things they do. I'm sorry, I'm a big fat overgrown kid myself. I thought some of them were really pretty funny. So I loved The Cul-de-Sac War, and it does have flowers on the cover. Now, thank you, Amanda, for telling me about that book. It was really funny. The next prompt is a new to you author, and everything is new to me. Like I say, I've been on BookTube for about a year. Actually, I just had my 1-year anniversary, but I began this Philippians 4 project. If you're interested, you can check out my Philippians 4 playlist that has caused me to shift from reviewing all sorts of books, which I still love and review, to specifically clean books and Christian books. And they are going to go exclusively on my Philippians 4 list because I'm trying to create a list of over 100 books that I can recommend, that I'm going to donate $500 and give that $500 check with the list to add to an already existing Christian library. But I just really want young readers today to know that there are good books out there and that they don't have to compromise their views to enjoy entertaining books. So I'm really on the hunt. Please, in the comments, recommend books that are clean. They don't have to be specifically biblical, but clean books or biblically Christian books, because it is going to go into a Christian library for students. So it's going to go into my son's school's library. So I have been new to Christian books. I've been reading a lot of books, trying to find books that I would recommend in good conscience to my own students in public school. And I haven't been real impressed with most of what's out there. And now that I'm really actively seeking Christian books for my son's school, I'm learning a lot about Christian fiction in particular, because I have, Bible and Bible studies. I already have Christian nonfiction that I've read over the years and still continue to read. So anyway, all that to say, it's all new to me. And that's why I'm especially grateful for Katie at Paperbacks and Ponytails and Amanda. And I've been looking at a lot of Oceana reads and Christian faith and fiction I've been reading as well, looking at a lot of for book ideas. There's other booktubers out there that I've been watching as well that I appreciate, but those I've been, Thrifty Homeschool, our Thrifty Homeschool. I've been getting a lot of great books from watching those videos. Anyway, so new to me author, like I say, they're all new to me, but I am going to talk about Jamie Jo Wright, because one of the very first Christian books I read was The Reckoning at Gossamer Pond. I'll put it right here, by Jamie Jo Wright. And I loved that book. I mean, it just blew me away. I absolutely loved it, and highly, highly recommend it. Reviewed it on my channel. You can find that video. But it was interesting. I didn't realize until after I did the review and I was looking over my video for, inconsistencies or errors and editing, when I realized that I also DNF'd a book by the same author, and that would be The House on Foster Hill. I hadn't connected the dots at the time that the book I loved and the book I hated were by the same author. So that's kind of a new thing for me. Usually, William Kent Kruger, I loved Ordinary Grace, and then I didn't like, he had like this detective series book that I didn't like at all. And it was funny because I was talking to my friend and she agreed. She had the same perception. So I don't know. Typically I like books by an author. I go into like Goodwill for books or in a bookstore or the library, and I go by author. And I can usually operate on the assumption that if I liked a book by this author, I'll like another one by this author. But Jamie Jo Wright, not necessarily. So I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to mention that. Next prompt is April showers bring May murders. Read a mystery or thriller. Okay, so The Reckoning at Gossamer Pond was a mystery or thriller, and I also liked Fatal Mistake, but I've already talked about those in another video. So here's one that I'm planning to read, and it is called Fragments of Fear. And I'm sorry, Truffles, don't tell Truffles. One of the main characters is a dog. So there's a dog in this one. And apparently this girl's fiance is killed, and she ends up with this dog that has like a microchip, and they say that this dog belongs to her according to the microchip, but it doesn't. And somehow that's critical to the plot, at least according to the back. I don't know. I haven't read it yet, but I am planning to read Fragments of Fear, and I'm looking forward to that. And that sounds like a mystery to me. Okay, next prompt is Spring Cleaning. Read a book that has been on your TBR the longest. And then it says at least 6 months. Like I say, I've only been doing specifically Christian books for about a month. So the closest I could come was a very dear friend of mine who actually teaches our Bible study. I was telling her about my Philippians 4 project and how I'm trying to find wholesome and lovely books and for my son's library. And she gave me this book. She probably wants it back though, so I shouldn't say gave, but she said, you should really read this for your Philippians 4. You would love this book. And I haven't read it yet. And I'm going to say it's been on my TBR the longest because usually when people loan me books, I I try really hard to be respectful and read it right away and give it right back. And I've been taking my dear friend for granted, and I haven't read this one. I've held on to it. It's been about 2 months, and I think for me, that's kind of rude. So I need to read this and get it right back to her. But of all people, I don't think she'd mind. You know, why do we take advantage of the people we love the most? But this one, Peace Like a River, I don't know much about it. It does sound like there's some Christian content. I know my friend, like I say, she was a seminary student. She teaches our Bible study, but she does read things that aren't specifically Christian. But this one does sound Christian, and she knows me really well. So if she said I would like it, then I can't wait to read it. And like I say, I don't know much about it. It involves an 11-year-old boy who is asthmatic. And right there, like, you had me at, 11-year-old, because I'm a teacher and I have such a heart for kids, and I'm trying to build this library for kids. And, I also have a thing for, as someone who had dyslexia, I have such a thing for people with exceptional circumstance. And so the asthma has my attention. So I can't wait to read this one. All right, I think we're coming to the last prompt. So, yes, read a romance book or a book that has a minor romantic plot. So, as much as I loved the Cul-de-Sac War, and that was a romantic book, no, not really. Had a romantic ending, but it was far from romantic for the first majority, but I loved it. It was really great. I think Oceana at Oceana Reads recommended this one, Lake Season by Denise Hunter. I could be wrong. I hope I got that right. I have to tell you, as a new booktuber, I'm going to have to start really writing down, okay, this is the person who recommended this one, because I want to make sure I give due respect to the new booktubers who are fantastic that I am starting to learn about. But I think this one was Oceana. And this sounded very good. It sounded like it might have some romance in it. And, any kind of lake house or house on the water. I mean, the setting is just going to be romantic. Whether there's, lovey-dovey kind of romance, there's still that sense of romance. The beauty in the world is romantic, if you ask me. So I think this is romance. And then another romance, again, thank you, Amanda, although I think it was Katie also on Paperbacks and Ponytails, who is, Amanda read it, and I think Katie has bought it and is thinking of reading it. Since she bought it, she'll read it, I would imagine. And that is another romance that I'm looking at, Tacos for Two. And I was originally, Amanda was reading this on her channel and talking about it. And I think she's going with the flowers on the cover for this readathon. And I had picked it for that reason from the library. But I thought, I went ahead and noticed that the Cul-de-Sac War has flowers. And since I finished that one, I can tell you with confidence, I loved this book. I'm anticipating that I'll love this one. I haven't read this one yet. It is another romance. So this one is my romance book, Tacos for Two. All right, so with that, Truffles and I are going to say goodbye. We hope you are out there. You are reading wonderful things that are just and pure and lovely and excellent and praiseworthy. And I know that we are, and I'm trying to create a list. So if you can recommend any books like that, put them in the comments. And thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye for now.
I wish the lady would get to this book. I already read it. She doesn't know that, but oh, it was so good. You want to read a book about a dog when you have the beautiful Truffles? Well, I turn my back on your book.